All right, so good morning, everyone. My name is Afonso Solac. I'm civil engineer from the Department of Software Development of CYPE. I think at this moment you are hearing well. You can also see my screen. So let's start with this presentation. This cycle of presentations. So we have a lot of webinars during this week and the next week, talking about the new features of CYPE 2021. So this is the last release of our software, the last version of our software that is from the last Friday. So it has just 7 days of this release, and we are starting with this cycle. It's actually the first of all the webinars that we will do for all the world. It's the first also. Before the seminars in Spanish and Portuguese that we will do during this week. So I invite you just to check our calendar. We have this first official launch of CYPE 2021 today. We have 4 presentations today during the day in 4 different times. You can choose your time and your language. And then we have other specific presentations talking more specifically with more details about each application that we will talk today. Okay, so we have for architecture, for structural solutions, building facilities, documentation, and all the project management of our OpenBeam project. So I invite you to check this calendar. I'll leave this link on the chat so you can access this information. Okay, and if you need to ask something, if you want to ask something, you can use this tool, this chat that you have in your webinar panel, just to send me some information, and then we can answer these questions in the end of the presentation. Okay, I think we will have maybe 1 hour, 1.5 hours of presentation today. The idea is just to take a look on all the features, or the main features, because there's a lot of new tools and new modules that we have in CYPE 2021. So the idea is just to take a look on this checklist, this list of new features, and then during the next presentations we will see with more detail each one of these softwares. Okay. You can access our download area in our page in cype.com, and you can download the version 2021. You have the trial version available here. You just must access our home, so cype.com. Just choose the English menu, and then you can download from here, from the download area. Okay, so 2021A from July 10th, and here you can download in different formats. And here you can access also the list of new features. So we have this link here, 2021A version from July 10th, where you can take a look on this list of new features of this version. Okay. So before we start with this list, I have here a little presentation. Let me put it on my screen. So this is the main project that we have been developing during the tests of our version before the release of the version. It's a train station, so it's quite different from the other kind of projects that you maybe saw before with our softwares. It's 100% made with our application, so you can see the geometric or the geometry or the forms of these buildings are quite different from those that we had on the last versions of our software. So it represents a lot what we made during this year. It represents a lot these new features that we have, the flexibility of these new features that we have on CYPE 2021. Okay, so we were talking about the new features of this new version. I will ask, before we start, just to check if you can send me a message using the chat, just to confirm that you can hear me well, and you can see my screen. Maybe just to be sure that is everything okay. You have a menu where you can send me that. All right, let me see here. Okay, I have here a confirmation. Everything's okay. Thank you very much. Sorry about that little pause. So let's continue. So during this week will be a lot of members from the development of the Department of Software Development of CYPE will be sharing these presentations. We are architects, civil engineers, industrial engineers, electrical engineers. Almost 100% of our department will be on these presentations, talking directly with you. So it's the best moment to ask informations, to ask for us as the details of our applications. Okay, so my name is Afonso Miguel Solac. Like I said before, I'm civil engineer. I will be with you during this next hour. Okay, so before we really start our presentation, just because maybe some of you are new here, maybe it's the first time that you see our brand, our brands actually. Just would like to share something about our company. We have almost 36 years of experience working with this sector of softwares for architecture, engineering, and construction. We have today more than 150 solutions. So work from architecture to structures, from building facilities to documentation. We have a lot of softwares related to this area. Okay, and we have here in Spain, in the city of Alicante, in the Mediterranean coast, 170 professionals working with us. Maybe 2/3 of them are working with directly with the software development, and then we have more maybe 60 professionals with the commercial department, technical support, marketing, all the departments that we have in our company. And we are in a lot of countries in the world. We count with almost 20 resellers that work with us in Latin America, all North America, Asia, Africa, and all Europe. So we work with resellers on those areas, and we have more than 60 countries that work with our softwares today. Okay. Actually, our products, our softwares are based on the open beam technology. So this is the core of our softwares. So we work more specifically with open and public standards formats. We are talking more specifically about the IFC format, although there are other open formats that you see. And we work for a collaborative workflow. So we think the union make force. So our softwares are connected between themselves and with softwares or applications from other companies that are not necessarily from CYPE. Okay, so we have this philosophy. We work with open formats, and we wanna connect with a good quantity of other brands that work also with this technology. So with that, we think that we have a more extensive durability of the information. So using this kind of formats, our information will be preserved. So in the next years, using this format, we could access this information with no problems. Okay. Just created here just this little example, just to show a little bit our history during the maybe past 5 years, just to situate you, just to have an idea where we are situated on the market. So if we think that our open beam project is a puzzle, let's think that this puzzle have four pieces. Okay, for little pieces. The first piece of this project could be the architectural modeling. So we first need to create our model, our 3D model. Actually, we can say that it's our architectural 3D modeling. So we are just talking about the appearance of this model. We are talking about the shades, the textures, the geometry of this building, but we are not talking yet about the design, the design process, the analysis, the thermal calculations or structural calculations. We are talking about the architectural modeling. Here, maybe you know a lot of other brands that work with that kind of software. We're talking about Autodesk or Graphisoft, Bentley. Okay, so these companies have this kind of applications, and maybe they are very, maybe this kind of applications. Then we have a second piece. Maybe this is the point where the CYPE history it's more abundant. So since the start of the company more than 30 years ago, we always have been working on this area. So talking about calculation and analysis, so CYPE-CAD or CYPE 3D are softwares that are very popular in the world. Here we can have maybe other brands that are important, like CSI, or maybe other softwares from like Energy Plus or EPANET that are very common, very popular in the world. Then we need a third component, a third element to bind both of the first two elements, that is the interoperability. So we must connect the architectural modeling with the designs or the specialized software, let's say that. So we must connect both of them, and we must have this interoperability. And here when we talk about OpenBIM, we use open formats. So the main open format, it's the IFC format. It's this little icon that you can see here. Maybe it's a very, very popular format. Maybe you know that. But we have other formats like the BC3. That is it's a format, open format for budget control, for view of quantities. Then we have the GLTF. That is it's a popular format to represent 3D geometries on the web, for example. And other open formats that could be used for to create this connection between the first group of softwares and the second group of softwares. And the fourth element that we need is the databases. So we need data. We must increase the quantity of information and the quality of information of our models, adding some data. Here, CYPE have a long experience with a huge database for view of quantities that have maybe almost 20 years. That is called Generador de Precios. In English would be like the prices generator. So it's a database that is available for almost 25 countries, if I remember. And you can use the information from this database in our softwares and generate the view of quantities of all these models that we can create. There are a lot of different kinds of database, BIM objects, for example, or any other type of data that we need to input on our workflow and use this information during the process of generation of documentation, also all the other process that we have in a project. Okay, so during the last years, we can say that our experience during the last 36 years is the second piece. But with the release of the version 2021, actually we have CYPE tools for all the 4 pieces. Okay, during the year of 2017, 2006, 2007, we launched the BIM Server Center platform. That is a common data environment where you can connect all the applications that we have and other applications. So this platform works just with this kind of formats, just with open formats, including obviously the IFC format and the BC3 format. Okay, so it's part of our project since 2016 to 2017. We can say that in 2019 we launched a new brand that is called Open BIM Systems, where you can find the products of manufacturers from the architecture, engineering, and construction sector inside of our software. So they are free tools that you can download from BIM Server Center. So the Open BIM Systems are free tools that you can download from BIM Server Center and use this information to generate your Open BIM project. Okay, and this year with the year 2020, but with the launch of the version 2021, we have the CYPE architecture. Okay, the CYPE architecture it was the piece that was we're working to finish that last piece of our puzzle, and now you can have the workflow. Your workflow is complete. You can use all the applications of CYPE to do 100% of your project using our tools. Okay, we'll talk a little bit a bit more of this 4 pieces during the presentation, and actually tomorrow we'll have a more specific presentation just about CYPE architecture. So I invite you to take a look on that. Okay, so maybe you know that we have this kind of a presentation. When you set up the software in your computer, the first thing that you see is this menu. We called it the CYPE menu. So it's divided in different areas, these different tabs in different colors that you have here. And actually, when you download the CYPE 2021, you see almost the same situation here. The difference is that we have another place where you can download actually more tools that we have just in this menu. That is the Beam Server Center store. Okay, so you can go there and you discover much more applications that we have in our traditional CYPE menu. So I invite you just to access beamserver.center and look for that. And the softwares that are available here on the Beam Server Center store are 100% compatible with the software that we have here in this CYPE menu. Actually, some of them are in both places, so you can access from here or from here. The difference is that here we have much more softwares, 132 at this moment, if I'm right. So you just can go there and download each application and use the applications separately. You don't have to download the full package from the CYPE download area. And if you use just one of these applications, okay, you have both possibilities. And when we think about CYPE, maybe some of you think about concrete structures or maybe steel structures, but I would like to say that we are much more than that. With this release, we have also much more applications to do 100% of our beam model in open formats, in using this open beam technology. So you have the architecture, the structures, the building facilities, and all other areas that you can work, and all this information is integrated. So the softwares are connected between themselves, and you can send and receive information from them in a multitude of combinations, not just these 3 combinations that are very simplified here in this scheme. Okay, and to the presentation of today, I'll try to follow this little index here. Maybe I separated these items because I think they are the most important items to resume in a presentation of 1 hour, 1 hour and a half. And some of them are new softwares, some new applications that we have available since the last week. Some of them are new modules, and some of them are beta versions that were converted to the final version of some softwares. So as you can see, we have in our left side some applications that are with the name CYPE, or applications that we don't have the brand of a manufacturer. And in the right side, we have some manufacturer systems, some open beam systems. As I said before, that is this line of products that we have that are, most of them are for free. You just have to go to the Beam Server Center platform and download it. Okay, so we'll start talking about the CYPE architecture. We'll talk a little bit about the software. Then we'll see the StruBeam CYPE 3D. That is actually the new version of CYPE 3D. Now you can go to Beam Server Center and download the CYPE 3D directly from Beam Server Center. You don't need to download the full package to use this software. Okay, the software changed its name. So here you can see that the CYPE 3D is now also in the family of the StruBeam software. So like the StruBeam design, StruBeam shear walls, StruBeam rebar, and now we have the StruBeam CYPE 3D. Okay, so we'll see more details about that in a few minutes. Then we have a new software that connects with StruBeam CYPE 3D used to the detailing of the connections that were the connections of the structure that was calculated on Type 3D. This new software is called Strubing Steel. Okay, I'm sorry, I have a little mistake here. I didn't change the icon here, but here should be the icon of CYPE. The next point is some new features that we have on CYPE 2021. We'll talk in a little bit about that. And then Strubing Shear Walls, that is a software that we launched last year, that this year have a new module that's the coupling beams calculation module. So it's those beams that connect two shear walls in a format of cross. This kind of beams we can calculate on Strubing Shear Walls from the version 2021. Okay, then we see some building facility software, some MEP softwares like OpenBeam Bosch, OpenBeam Panasonic, and also some electricity calculation softwares like OpenBeam Schneider Electric. We'll take a look on that, and I think that's going to be a very interesting presentation when we finish that after seeing all these applications. Okay, so I'll minimize here. Just take a look if you have any question here. Just a second. Let me see here. Okay, no questions, but remember, if you have any question, please just send me this message, and in the end of the presentation, we'll try to answer that. Okay. So as I said before, here we have the index that you have been we have been talking before. Actually, there are much more information that we will see in this presentation. A lot of softwares that were where we implemented new features like CYPE lacking distribution, CYPE tile schematics. So CYPE plumbing, for example, you can see these new features that we were implemented on this these softwares. Okay, or OpenBeam quantities, for example. And let's start with CYPE architecture. This is the menu of the main menu of CYPE architectures, pretty similar to the other menus that we have on CYPE tools. You can download CYPE architecture for free. It's a freeware software. You don't have to pay for that. Directly from Beam Server Center, you can download that. So if you don't have your account on Beam Server Center, you can create that for free too. And when you are logged in on Beam Server Center, you can access the Beam Server Center store. And here you can download these applications, those that are paid and those that are free. Okay, you can download the free applications, and those that are paid, you can use it for 30 days or the student version of each application. Just download it, and during the setup, you can choose the type of installation, the type of setup that you want to run in your computer. Okay, so the CYPE architecture is here. Actually, is the first one. As you can see, it's a free software. Just come here and download it and start using. And the main intention of this software is to generate the architectural model that's going to be the first model of our workflow. So it's going to be the first model that will be the base of all the other applications. So here we will generate the geometry of our building. Okay, so it's a very flexible software. It's quite different from the last solutions for architecture that we have on CYPE Suite. So it's quite different from IFC Builder, that is our last software for 3D modeling. And we have a lot of new features, and it's much more flexible than IFC Builder. Okay, but if you work with one of our softwares in the past, when you open CYPE architecture, you feel at home. It's going to be very easy to start learning the software because it's the distribution of the panels, the buttons, the way of work. It's quite similar to other softwares that we have on CYPE Suite. Okay, so I already downloaded the software before, and actually it's here on the English version. As you can see, I'm logged in with my Beam Server Center's account here, and then I also have the Beam Server Center sync running here in my computer. Okay. And the idea here, it's pretty similar to the other softwares. We can create a new software and connect to the Beam Server Center platform, okay? And actually, I will open here just an example that we have been developing during the last days to the release of the version. We'll not see all the details of the software now, just to have a little view of the software. And but during the presentation of tomorrow, we'll see everything about this software. Okay, so as you can see here, we have a menu where we have these two bars here in the top. Okay, and we have here in the sides these two panels. One of them is the views panels. Is something pretty new in our softwares since the version 2020. We have this kind of views, these views panels in our softwares, where we can see the software in a 3D view. We can create a transversal section in one of these views. Okay, we can see, for example, ceiling plans or floor plans. We can create these views of our model, and the idea is we have a 3D entity, so it's our 3D model, and then we can slice, we can cut this model in different planes, different plans, different sections, just see a little bit more of this model. Okay, if you have this project synchronized with Beam Server Center platform and you download IFCs from other disciplines, when you double click on these sections, here in this white space, you can see a list of the IFCs that are synchronized with this project, and you can turn the visibility of this IFCs on or off. So you can see also the structure, the plumbing facilities, the HVAC facilities, all the IFCs that you have in your project. You can activate and deactivate using this feature here, this tool here. Okay. Another new feature that we have in some of our softwares, it's included here on CYPE architecture, is the layers menu. Here you can create your own layers, and you can associate elements from your model to these layers. So for example, when I was creating this model, I created a layer that I called structure dash arcs. So all the arcs, when I created, I add to this layer, and now I can activate and deactivate this information. Another one were the stairs. For example, here I created a layer that I called stairs. Let's here the stairs. So the stairs or the railings. So I created this organization. I created these layers before, and depending on the size of my model, the type of my model, I will create more or less layers like this. Okay, so it's very flexible. Okay, and this is a new feature that we are implementing in some of our softwares. Okay, as you can see, the geometry of this model, it's quite different from the geometry that we have been creating with our last softwares. We can use arcs, circles, ellipses, polygons to generate a drawing. Okay, we can generate this drawing, and then we can combine these drawings to divide, to extrude, to offset these drawings to generate a sketch. As you can see here, we are inside of a tab that is called sketch. Okay, so why we can create this sketch? Because maybe the main feature of the software is that the software is based on a duality between sketch and architecture. What it means, we will first create our sketch. Okay, we will think about the concept of this building, just drawing, as we are actually, as it's the same way that we do when we are projecting using a paper. So we can start drawing something, generating a volume, and thinking about the building, but we don't know exactly which would be the architectural solution or the construction elements that will be in each part of our drawing, because it's actually just a drawing yet. Okay, but the main feature of the program is that when we finish this drawing, this 3D drawing, we can just go to the architecture tab and start adding elements. So here I have my beta version with some errors. No problem, it's working well. We can add elements to this surface that we created before in our sketch. So we have this tool, for example, that is add a wall per surface area. So we just must select one area, as you can see here, and we can add to each area that was created before an element. In this case, it was one type of wall of 30 centimeters of thickness that we can add to these elements. It was with combining this first drawings here, and then the architecture solutions that we have here, that was the way that I used it to create these arcs of this train station. Okay, so this combination makes the software very flexible. We can do a lot of things with a lot of different geometries. Actually, as you can see here on this little car here, it's a very simple car, but I created just using some sketches, and it was not too difficult to create that. So the software is actually have a lot of new features here. I invite you to download this application, start using, and creating your buildings. Okay. So here inside of our construction element tabs, we have vertical elements, horizontal elements, roofs, structures. We have some columns and beams here that we can generate these columns and beams. We are talking about architectural columns and beams. We are not talking about structural columns and beams. What it means, when you define these elements here, then you can send it to other applications to calculate in other applications. But these elements here are just for just to have an idea about the size of these columns, the position of these columns, if we have any other element that is in the same space. So for example, maybe here we have this column here, as you can see. Let's go there. This circular column here. For me, it's important to know that we have a column here. Maybe in my architectural model, it's not okay, this column here. Maybe it should be inside of this corner here, or on this corner here. I don't know yet. I am thinking about that as an architect, but I will not calculate that. I just want to know that we have or not that column. Let's leave the calculation to the structural engineer in the next step of our workflow. But it's important to know about the position of this column here. So we have this possibility. Then we have some openings. We have here doors, windows. We have also some windows to put in on our roof. Okay, a lot of different kind of doors and windows here. So the skylights. Sorry, I don't remember this word before. Here we have some skylights. You can change the size, the color, the type of opening. We have some of them here. Then we have stairs, we have lifts, we have ramps. A new feature that we have here in this application is the curved ramp span. We can create this helicoidal curved ramps. Okay, we can add a swimming pool, rectangular, circular, or creating a swimming pool using a perimeter. We can just draw this perimeter and generate a swimming pool. And then, of course, if you want to calculate this software, we want to, for example, run a thermal or acoustic analysis, we must characterize the spaces. So we must create the spaces and say, this is a kitchen, this is a living room, this is a bedroom, this is a outside area. So this information would be very necessary when we send this information to Bing Service Center and connect with other applications to generate this kind of simulations, this thermal or acoustic simulations. So this is very important. But of course, if we just need to generate this 3D model to, I don't know, to see this model in augmented reality, or to generate the drawings of that, maybe we will not use the space tool. So it depends of the intention that we have with this model. We will use or not some of the tools that we have here. And the last tab that we have here, it's a large library of furniture and sanitary equipment that we included on the software. So you can add here some different kind of furniture, like, I don't know, chairs, sofas, TVs. You can add all of them. And for example, this part of bathroom fittings or sanitary equipment, when we use these elements, the software that will connect with this part of our project, for example, CYPE plumbing, will recognize the position of these elements, and will connect the plumbing facilities, the pump, all the elements of the plumbing facilities with these bathroom fittings that were introduced by the architects during the architectural project, and not just we don't need to wait until the plumbing project should introduce this kind of element. So it's very, very interesting. Also, we finish all this information here. We finish this model. We can send the information, of course, using the Beam Server Center menu, and we can update this information, sending more information at any time. Okay, so just opening here, as you can see here on Beam Server Center platform. Let's go to my projects menu, and I have this train station, and just to take a look how this train station looks on Beam Server Center. It's gonna be the same way that you see on your mobile phone, or maybe on augmented reality or virtual reality using the apps that we have on the platform. And this information, so it's just loading. Actually, we must recognize that this train station, it's actually a huge model. So we can activate here, for example, some elements that were deactivated, like let's see here. Let's see here. Some of the elements are, we are in a section. Let's go to a 3D view. So we have here a lot of geometry. It's a huge station, okay? But we can see that there's a lot of details, like these curtain walls and this all the details that we have for our furniture. And here on Beam Server Center, just with our browser, actually you don't need any software to see these elements on internet. We can open this model, and we can see that we have some layers here. Actually, two of them were layers generated with other applications that I was using before. But from CYPE architecture, we have this layer that is called architectural model, and inside of this layer we have two other layers. One of them, it's the 3D sketch. So all the information that was generated using the sketch generated on one layer to here at Beam Server Center, and all the elements that were generated using the architecture features generated another layer to Beam Server Center platform. So if we deactivate the 3D architectural model, we can see the sketches that I used to generate the real geometry of the building. So it was much easier to generate these sketches to draw these arcs using just drawings, then try to generate walls or any other element directly using IFC elements or IFC entities. So creating these drawings, it was the best way to start our building, and then assign IFC entities to this drawings. Okay, so if we reverse the selection here, we will see the results. Let's see. Let's select here the 3D architecture model. As you can see, these models are the models, in this case, associated to IFC entities. Okay, so we have here all the elements from our Beam model. Now just waiting to the next disciplines that will work to develop the other structural and building facilities projects that we must have in our Open Beam project. Okay, that's nice. That's a little bit about CYPE architecture. I think this is maybe the main software that we released we launched in this version. Actually, as I said before, it's very easy to work. We can use this 3D this 3D environment to work. But if we don't like to work in 3D, we just must select one view and work in 2D with no problem, because it's quite similar to other softwares that we have on CYPE's family. Okay. So that was CYPE architecture. Let's see our index. The second point was the Strubing CYPE 3D. Actually, the Strubing CYPE 3D is the same software that we have on our suite. Let's see here on Beam Cyber Center platform where you can download that. You just look for, search for Strubing, and you see a lot of softwares from the Strubing family. It's actually in each version it's increasing this family. It's a huge red family, and as you can see here, we have the Strubing CYPE 3D. Okay, so if Strubing CYPE 3D, there's a different combinations, different modules that you can combine to generate your own version of Strubing CYPE 3D. Okay, but now you can also download it here from a Beam Server Center platform. You can see the icon have this little symbol of Beam Server Center. Okay, just where are the main difference of CYPE 3D in this version of 2021? As you can see, here I have this structure. This structure was this geometry was generated here on CYPE architecture. That is one of the main features. You can export the sketches that were made here on CYPE architecture to Beam Server Center, and then there is a way to open these sketches here on CYPE 3D and then define bars or shells to the elements that were drawn here on CYPE architecture. Okay, so that's a very nice feature because you can start your design process here at CYPE 3D with all these tools that you can use to generate this complex geometry, for example, and then import this geometry on CYPE 3D and then do your calculations, your structural calculations. Okay, so at this case, it was this tree format structure made by bars. If we go to the 3D view, we can see a little bit better because here is just the axis of our bars. And actually, I think it would be impossible to generate this, almost impossible to generate this geometry here on CYPE 3D. Just on CYPE 3D, we need another 3D modeling tool to generate this kind of geometry to then introduce to CYPE 3D. And now we have this free tool that's called CYPE architecture to generate this kind of geometry on CYPE's software family. Okay, so we can use 100% CYPE to generate this kind of structures. Okay, and a second feature that of course it's very important is the Beam Server Center connection. Now we have this menu here, where if you have been using CYPECAD during the last years, on CYPECAD we have the same situation, the same kind of menu, where you can link and unlink your software with a project on Beam Server Center platform. So this project was linked before. Now I can export this information to Beam Server Center platform, and another member of my team, or I can open this IFC in another software, just using this connection with of CYPE 3D with the Beam Server Center platform. Okay, at any moment I can unlink this project and link with another one. If I want to create a new version, a different version, we can consult if we have changes in some IFCs of our building. Okay, so that's very nice because the position of the elements in the project will be granted because we're using the same coordinate system. So if we start creating the software, the model here on Beam Server Center on CYPE architecture, sending to CYPE 3D, we can send this structure again to CYPE architecture, and the coordinates will be the same. We don't have problems with this kind of this kind of problems with different coordinates. Okay, so it's very, very interesting. Okay, and exporting this structure that was calculated here on CYPE to Bing Server Center platform. Another nice feature, it's actually a nice new software actually. It's the Strubing Steel. Okay, so if we go back to our list, the third one was the Strubing Steel. Okay, what is Strubing Steel? Strubing Steel, it's a freeware software, so it's actually our free launch edition. So at this moment, the software is for free, and maybe in the future we have more modules that we will increase the capacities of this software. But we have a lot of nice things that we can do with this software, this freeware software, Strubing Steel. So it's a software that should be used after the calculation with CYPE 3D or Strubing CYPE 3D. We'll send this 3D bars structure to Bing Server Center and then read this IFC on Strubing Steel and add all the details, all the connections that we have in our bars, and then use this this model to generate the files to manufacture this structure. Okay, so we are talking about steel structures. You can also download the information, download the software here directly from Bing Server Center. And let's open Strubing Steel. I don't have it here, but I have it somewhere here. Strubing Rebar. Okay, here, Strubing Steel Free Launch Edition. Let's open this software and take a look at what we have here. I will just open up an example here, just to be fast. During the next days, we will see more about these softwares of structural calculations. Okay, so this is the 3D environment of Strubing Steel. It's quite similar to the environment that we have on CYPE architecture. For example, we also have this view panel here. We can add views here, 3Ds, level 1, level 2, floor, ceilings plans. Just have to to click here on this button to create a new view. Okay, and actually the information that we have on CYPE 3D is imported to this software just using the menus of update or export updates to send and receive information to the platform. Okay, so I imported this 3D models from CYPE 3D, and actually from here we can also draw new elements. So actually, for example, we could create a new profile here, drawing from the beginning here a new structure if we want. Although the best workflow would be generate the structure before, calculate on CYPE 3D, and here just add the joints, the connections between bars that we have in our structure. Okay, but yeah, we can edit this information. We could, for example, I don't know, if I don't want to delete one information that was added before on CYPE 3D, but the main workflow would be generated there on CYPE 3D and then import here and finish this detailing. Okay, so here we have a lot of elements. As you can see, these elements have a high level of detailing. Okay, so we can see all the information here about all the elements that we have in this joint. Okay, we can create our library of elements. We can add our own steels, our own materials. We can add a new material here. We can save this information using these traditional icons that we have on CYPE tools to use these libraries in another project in the future. We can add some types of sections, rolled, reinforcement, code format, or tubular sections. Okay, we have some of them are already inside of the software library. You don't have to think about that. Just use this kind of sections. Here you can see that inside of this one we have different sizes for the same reference. Okay, so the reference IPE 750, we have 4 sizes of profile, but we can add another one just defining the size following filling this this empty spaces here with other dimensions. Okay, so it's very flexible. You can add a lot of types of sections here. Then we can do the same thing for example here the boats. So we have here some boats from the ISO, this ISO here, but you can also create personalize these boats. If you want to create a new kind of boat that we don't have on the software, you must use the pencil edit button, and you can add a new boat. So here, as you can see, there is a lot of parameters that we need to know to set up a boat, because actually there is a lot of things in a boat, although it's just a little boat. Okay, so you can add those informations and generate your own materials here. Okay, and the anchor, it's the same. The anchors are the same situation. Okay, you can add here the anchor sizes, the internal and external diameter of the nut, the washer. So here you have all the parameters to personalize your structural materials. Okay, we can add a grid. This grid, maybe it's nice to have a reference, some lines in the X direction and some lines on the Y direction, where you can add this labels and coordinates just to have a grid and use it as a reference to generate your model. Okay, and here we have the traditional tools to edit, to move, to erase information from the model. Okay, but maybe the best part of the model is the joints menus. Okay, here we created some macros. These macros are generated they were created to generate different connections. Okay, so we have these types of connections here, maybe 13, 14 different types of connections. When you click on one of these connections, you can see which type of sections are accepted to this connection. So here we have a column and a beam, and the program is saying, so to the beam you can use this kind of sections, and to the column this kind of sections. Although if we come here, this one would be a main bar and then a purlin. And when you see that the main bar, we can use just this kind of sections, and the purlin we have more options, and we can combine to create this detail here, this connection here. Okay, when we select using this tool here, when we select two bars and then accept with the right button of our mouse, the program will open the connection, and we can see which options we have to generate a connection between two elements. So as you can see here, we have this little element here. Okay, and for example, I'll do another one. I'll erase another one here. For example, let's erase, for example, let's see here. Let's erase these elements here, all these elements here. I don't want them, all this information here. I think it's okay. It would be better if we erase everything, but it's okay. I can go to, for example, in our list of connections and use this hinge with beam here. And I will put it, I will find the node here, and we can add this element here. And this element have a lot of parameters, the material that we created before, some sizes, some dimensions that we have here in this scheme that we can change. If you want to add or know a bottom plate, as you can see, when we change this information, automatically we see the difference here in our 3D viewer. The type of end plate, okay, we can change the type of end plate that we are adding here. Okay, then the haunches, we can change, for example, here the angle, for example, I don't know, let's put 45. Okay, and when we finish that, we can see the connection here. Okay, my example, it was not very good because it's together here in a, it was not a good point. We should select another point, but I think you can understand what we can do with this application. Okay, once we finish this model of joints of connections, we can export a report. Okay, this report, we can see all the profiles that we have in this structure, the profiles from the structure and the connections. Okay, sorry, in the connections we don't have profiles actually, but the materials from the structure and the materials from the connections. So at this little example, we have 17 kilograms of steel type, this type here, okay, this type of profile here. And then we can see also the detail of, let me see here, where is that? Let's see here, the details and the sizes of each element that we have in the project. So this element here was in one of the connections. We can see here the size and the size, the area, the thickness of this material for all of them. Okay. Also I think also we can see here in somewhere the bolts and all the anchors, if we have anchors. Okay, so it's quite interesting to generate this quantities report. Okay, and then we can export that to Bing Server Center and of course see this information in the other applications. And for example, we can use that for augmented reality. We can see that on our clash detection tool. We can see in our software to extract plans and drawings. Okay, so it's a very nice application. Okay, that's okay. We have been talking about CYPE architectures through Bing CYPE 3D, through Bing Steel. Let's go to a traditional software of CYPE. It's called CYPE. Okay, CYPE. It's our. If you are new here, you are coming here. It's your first contact with our brand. CYPE is our software for structural calculation to concrete, reinforced concrete structures, also to wood and steel structures. You can calculate that type of structures. Okay, it's one of the first softwares that we have in our list of products. It's maybe one of the most traditional softwares that we have. And each year we are increasing the features that we have in this software. And this year we have two very nice new features. Okay. The first one, I think I will open a new file here just to show the first one. I'll create a new one. As you know, we can connect the CYPE with Bing projects through the IFC standard. So the first question that the software asks us is, do you want to import a Bing model? I will say yes, and I will select a project from my Bing Server Center account, okay, that I created before. This example I will show you now, it's a software generated with Autodesk Revit. You can use, so IFC is generated with other applications to calculate with CYPE. There is no problem. That is the Open Bing technology. Okay. Let me see which was the name. I don't have it here because it's not synchronized to this project. I was just synchronize it with my computer because it was just on the cloud. It was a backup on the cloud. I'm just downloading this IFCs to my local folder in my computer. Okay, it's a project called 6-story residential building. And now I can select it here, 6-story residential building. And let's wait just a second until this project is synchronized. So it's synchronized. Let's accept. Okay. So as you can see, we are importing an IFC that is called architectural model. Okay. And it's reading the data. Let's wait a little bit. Okay. Maybe it's downloading. Yeah, I think it's gonna be okay. Okay, so as you can see, we can maximize this window. This is the project that I just imported from Bing Server Center. Okay, and the only thing I want to show you that is a new feature that we have on CYPE is the way that we import these columns that we have in our architectural model. Okay, so as you can see here, we have this parking lot here under the building. Okay, and we have these columns that were introduced in our architectural model before. Okay, so when we import this architectural model, we can import the floor plans. For example, we have here different floor plans that were created on Revit. And in this case, okay, we can import or not these plans, okay, or import all of them. It doesn't matter at this moment. It's just an example. And here is the main difference. Okay, we have we can import the columns that were introduced on Revit. In the last versions of CYPE, it was possible to import just reinforced concrete columns. Okay, actually they were just concrete columns because they were not calculated yet. Okay, but just concrete columns. Okay, and depending on the way that the IFC was generated, these columns are generated with like this, with how can I say that, with an angle or another angle. So depending on the software or the way of these columns are generated, we can have this situation that the rectangle is, I don't know, like this or like this. Okay, and now that was a problem because when we were importing these IFCs to CYPE, it was difficult to know that. And now we have this little check here that is switch access. We can import these files, we can see how they are imported to CYPE, and if some of them are inverted, we just come here, we can just click on the update button and switch the access, and then we have the columns in the right position with the right size and in the right angle. Okay, the new another new feature that we have in this part of the IFC, the Open Beam workflow, is that we can import any other types of columns. We import also steel columns or any other type of columns that are not just concrete columns. So we can have a list of different columns here and import all these different types of columns. And a third new feature that we have here is we can click on this button here and define the cross section of this column in this moment, at this moment. What it means, when we were in our architectural model, could be IFC Builder, CYPE Architecture, Autodesk Revit, ArchiCAD, Allplan, all these 3D modeling tools, we created an architectural column, and now we must define which will be the structural, how can I say, the structural behavior of this column, because now we have much more information because we are talking about structural calculation. So what's the kind of material? It's going to be steel, it's going to be wood, it's going to be a mixed section, it's going to be a generic material. Okay, this steel will be rolled profiles section, would be, I don't know, different materials that we can have to this column. Okay, also we can change the information here because maybe you know, in some countries it's very popular to generate an architectural model that the dimension of this column is considering also the spaces to the shafts that we have to our, for example, plumbing facilities. So we have a vertical plumbing facility that is just beside the column, and sometimes the architectural just use this information with everything just to say this is a column, but actually the column, the structural column, it's a little bit less than the dimension of the architectural column. Here we can change this information and add the structural information of these columns. Okay, so this is very nice because it's one of the new features that we have on 2021, and actually here we have much more control about this process of generation of a structural model from an architectural model developed in 3D modeling tool. Okay, of course we are always talking about Open Beam, we are talking about IFC entities. Okay, we are talking about columns generated and associated to IFC entities. Okay, And then we have here the other elements like the floors, floor slabs, and the walls and partitions that we have in the versions, the previous versions of CYPE, okay, or of CYPE. Okay. I just finished here the process of importing this element here to CYPE. I will not calculate anything here, but as you can see, the columns are already introduced here to CYPE. And if we go to the bin definition tab, we can see the 3D model generated before, here inside of CYPE. And we have this information here. Now we have to proceed to our calculation, okay, to our structural calculation. That's very nice. I'll open another project that we have here, just to show a new feature that we have on CYPE. Let me see here. Actually, I think I can use this one. So here we have these columns, okay. And in these columns we can generate. Let me see here if we can do that. No, it's gonna be easier open another one because there is a lot of steps to do before could show that new feature. Let me see where I have that. Recent files, for example, this one. It's a smaller model, so it's gonna be easier to show that. This is a quite small model. It's just a two floors building, two-story building, okay. But the difference here is that we have the foundation elements. They are already introduced to our model, okay. So there are these pile caps here. We have one pile in each element, okay. And we have here the floor one and the terrain, okay. So 2 floors. And the new different that is that here in the menu foundations, we have this new soil structure interaction, okay. So we can define if we want to consider this kind of interaction in our analysis. So that's very important if we are talking about bigger buildings than this example. It's going to be very important. We have a lot of changes in our results. The distribution of the tensions in our structural elements and also our foundation elements will be very different when we consider or not this kind of interaction, okay. So to consider that, we just have to use this menu. We have these 2 colors here, this pink and this blue. When we can select elements from our foundations and say that we wanna consider or do not consider the soil in structure interaction, okay. So if we click on consider soil in structure interaction, we can add a stiffness for this, in this case to the pile caps. We can create this add this number here. Here we have a little help button that we can read up to understand a little bit what it means, okay. And once we define this value of stiffness, we can, for example, assign to all, and all of them will be blue. So I think in almost all the cases when we consider this kind of interaction, we will apply this kind of parameters to all the elements of our foundations. But if for any I don't know, in another object, maybe we can just say that some of them are not considered on that analysis. So we can do something like this: some of them yes, some of them no. So we can manually define which elements will be under this kind of analysis, okay. So we just must press on finish, and then we have this information. It will be considered in our calculus when we press the buttons here of project analysis. Okay, that's nice. I think we have been talking about these 4 softwares: Distributing Shear Walls. Distributing Shear Walls, I think I have it open here. It's a nice software that we can connect with CYPE. On CYPE, when we create a wall, okay, when we define a wall, we can create this wall and we can check this button here that's called shear wall. We are telling to the program that we must say that we must introduce a name here. When we introduce this wall and we maintain this check activated, we will generate our model, we will calculate that, run the analysis, and when we export these elements to Bing Server Center, we can calculate this shear wall using another application that is called Distributing Shear Wall. So Distributing Shear Wall is this application here, okay? And this application is available since the version 2020, where we can just read the shear walls that we have in a project calculated with CYPE or any other OpenBIM tool, not necessarily tools from CYPE, okay? And calculate all the parameters of these shear walls, okay? We can see also here in the model which one of the shear walls that we are calculating, okay? So this is not new, but actually this new tab here, the coupling beams, are new. So the main difference is that when we have 2 shear walls, okay, we have a beam that connects 2 shear walls. Let's think about, for example, 4 shear walls that make a kind of like the format of a letter O, but we have spaces between them, and we must connect the shear walls and using this kind of beams. These beams have specific geometry, as the reinforcements are quite different, and we can calculate these coupling beams here using a new model of distributing shear walls. Okay, so you can check these beams and calculate all the parameters that you need to this kind of structures. Okay, so with that, I think we finished the first part. Okay, and then we can take a look on some OpenBIM systems that were released during the version 2021. Maybe you know, OpenBIM systems are the softwares that are under this brand that we created on 2019. The main characteristics of these softwares that they are made just with considering other brands, other manufacturer brands. So we have a lot of them, like Toshiba, like Daikin, like Foki Facade. We have a lot of them here. And if you go to Bing Server Center, you can see in the store, coming here to the store, you have a filter here that is called manufacturer systems, okay? And you can find all, you can find all these softwares. Most of them are free, okay? We have 26 applications in this category of applications, and most of them are manufacturer systems. Okay, no, in this case, all of them are manufacturer systems. So some of them are new, some of them are new from the version 2021. So as I said before, let's open some of them just to take a look. We can open the first one, OpenBIM Bosch, just to take a look. As you can see here, it's very easy to work because it's the same 3D environment that we have in the other applications. We also have here the view menus, okay? Actually, this model was generated with our applications, the architectural model, but we can activate and deactivate the information of the other IFCs that we have available on this model. Okay, so for example, I'll put the architectural model on transparent, for example, and some models generated with CYPE. Let's see if it works. I think I didn't accept it. I don't know what is happening here. Maybe I'm doing something wrong, but no problem. But as you can see here, this OpenBIM systems, using the systems by Bosch, were calculated here. We have all the interior and exterior units. We can introduce using the references that come from the Bosch catalog. So we are talking about real elements. We are talking about real equipment that we have available in the market. We're not talking about generic elements that maybe will not exist when we must buy that element. So we have a lot of parameters here related to the calculation of a VRF's HVAC system. So we have the exterior units, the different types of interior units. So we have units for walls or for ceilings. So we just have to select one of them and then add it to the project. I don't know. Let me open. I'll put here here. It's okay. It's not okay, but yeah, you know, just have to introduce these elements, and when we link these elements using the canalizations, we can calculate that and prove that and check that the installations are right, or if we have to change everything according to the manufacturer recommendations. Okay, and then we can export the view of quantities. We can generate some different kind of informs that we can do with the program. Of course, we can send to Bing Server Center and add one more layer to our OpenBIM project, and in each moment we'll be increasing the information that we have in this project. Okay. Another one that is quite similar is the new Panasonic. The OpenBIM Panasonic. Actually, it was a beta version that was released 2 or 3 weeks before the release of the 2021 version, and now it's actually the version that we it's the real version. Let's say that the version that is available is not just a beta version. So you can download that and add the elements of Panasonic. It's the same situation. No, you have here the elements from Panasonic, and you can select and add it to your project and calculate that, and then have all these informations related to this kind of products. Okay, so here this kind of elements, the interior unit here, the Panasonic interior unit. Here we have any other elements. I'm sorry, I'm not a specialist of HVAC, but actually the software is quite simple. You can use it even if you are not a specialist. I think for sure it's going to be very easy to understand, to learn about the software, especially if you work with other CYPE applications. Okay, and another type of OpenBIM systems is this one that we created for Schneider Electric. So this software connects with CYPE Core, where in CYPE Core we calculate the electrical installation, and then we can generate the switchboard that we have in our project using the products from Schneider Electric. Okay, so we receive information from Bing Server Center from this calculus that was previously made, and here we can add the exactly elements that are compatible, the elements from Schneider that are compatible with this calculus. So for example, this project have 4 different switchboards. In one of them we have this 3D detail here. We can add here, for example, first rail, and we can add, for example, 1, 2, 3, 4 rails. I don't know. And then we can add the elements. So here in this one, I don't have anyone. This one I have available. This 5 types of Schneider products. This is a different switchboard. Let's add again the rails, and then I just have to put the first one, then the second one. Okay, so we can add these elements in the distribution that we want to do to generate this detail of this electric board. Okay, so this electric switchboard. So it's quite nice. The level of details here are very it's very detailed. Okay, and of course you export the BC3. Okay, the BC3 is the quantities takeoff. It's going to be used to generate your view of quantities that you can consolidate, for example, after on OpenBIM quantities. Okay, so it's very nice. Okay, And we have here the same situation. We can export this information to Bing Server Center, okay? And I think with that, we have been looking to the main new features that we have on CYPE 2021. If you have any question, maybe we can try to answer at this moment. Let me see if you have any question here. Yep, here we have some questions. Khaled Gaidi, if I'm not mistaken, you changed the name of CYPE 3D to Strubing CYPE 3D. Then what happened if downloads the new version of CYPE 3D? Will you have this Strubing CYPE 3D? Yes, Khaled, it's gonna be you can just download the Strubing CYPE 3D from Bing Server Center platform. But if you have the license for CYPE 3D, the version 2021, you can use both of them. Okay, it's just a new designation that we have to the software, but it's just from the version 2021. Okay, so there is no problem. You can use both of them using the CYPE menu version or the Bing Server Center platform version. Okay, but you have it's going to be the same license code. Okay, you can use one to activate the another one. If you don't know how to activate a license, that is just how to use a license from the CYPE menu to activate a version that is on Bing Server Center platform, it's quite easy. You just have to open your CYPE menu, and here on CYPE menu you have this option. Let me see, where was that? Electronic license. Okay, and you can use this button here, save my license in Bing Server Center, and all the licenses, codes, keywords that you have here in your list of your license will be saved on your Bing Server Center account, and will activate those modules that are equivalent. Okay, so this example, you can use that to use the model that you have here for CYPE 3D to activate Strubing CYPE 3D, or the model that you have to CYPE Plumbing to activate CYPE Plumbing that you download from Bing Server Center. Okay. Here you're asking if we are going to merge map options with CYPE architecture in order to have a uniform platform for Bing-based projects. Actually, we already have a uniform platform. Actually, maybe I usually know that I prefer to say that we have a lot of little applications that are connected, and we use these applications when we need. Actually, when you define here on CYPE architecture this spaces, you are opening this workflow for MIP softwares. So from here, you can generate your analytical model using a specific tool for that is Open Being Analytical Model, and then you can connect with other applications to this kind of calculation. Okay, and the idea is during the next versions, we will be increasing the number of applications that are connected to CYPE architecture. Okay, so I invite you just to follow us on our social media and follow us and subscribe to our new webinars. That when we release these new features of CYPE architecture, we will for sure we will be sharing with you this new information. Okay. Ovidu Florea, it's asking us if in Strubing steel there is a possibility to detail the fabrication details for steel profiles. Yes, it's actually, we can, if for example we don't have a model generated on CYPE 3D or Strubing CYPE 3D, okay, we can generate a new structure to the sections, to the profiles, directly from the software. Although I think the best workflow would be calculate these profiles, these sections before. Okay, but you can create your structure directly from the software. Okay, I'm doing here something no sense here, but you can do that. Okay, and not just the joints, the connections, but also the sections, so the profiles that we have here on the program. Okay. And let me see if we have any other question here. Okay, I think we are done. We finished all the questions. I thank you very much to coming and to have been connected during this half an hour that we have been here today. I wait for you to tomorrow's presentation that we'll talk much more about CYPE architecture. So you can just take a look on on the index of our presentation of tomorrow. We're talking a little bit about where to use this application on our workflow. We'll generate some examples of this sketch ability that we have inside of the program, and then define the construction elements according to the IFC standard using the architectural tab. And of course, then we do a little example exporting CYPE architecture to Strubing CYPE 3D and see how we can calculate a little structure departing from CYPE architecture on Strubing CYPE 3D. It was a pleasure to share with you these new features of CYPE 2021. I invite you to download and try this new version, and I hope I see you tomorrow. Have a great day in the country you are